A new cloak. But that's like Evie? Okay. Anyway, allies. Mary and Disraeli. Mary and Disraeli, ni Vinny, Viscountess Beaconsfield, was a prominent figure in British high society throughout much of the 19th century. She married Benjamin Disraeli in 1839, shortly after her first husband passed away, and was his constant companion, friend and advisor until the day she died. Her affection of a silly, scatterbrained demeanor and penchant for saying the sort of things that made proper Victorians waggle their moustaches is a proving mask a keen political mind. And between the two of them, it was a joke that Benjamin marry her for her money but do it again for love. This is rather more charming if you realize that Marianne was quite skinned when they married. It should be noted though that the Disraelis, both of whom were romantics to the core, had a rather trying marriage at first. Benjamin hid his extensive debt from her for years, and both felt the sting of public disapproval. The Victorian tabloids made today's bad boy sightings and illegitimate alien love children look downright reputable. Rather than wallow in misery as is the English way, the pair once again flouted convention by working out their problems and strengthening their relationship until their marriage became the storybook romance of which they had both dreamed. In 1868, when Queen Victoria wanted to raise Disraeli to the nobility but he preferred to stay in the House of Commons, Mary Anne leapt upon the proverbial grenade and was dubbed Viscountess Beaconsfield. Again, that's hard. As ever, she made ways of her refusal to abide by the accepted standards of Victorian society. At court, her outfits frequently outdid the Queen's, and once she joined the ranks of nobility, she seized on every opportunity to show up the ladies who had once scorned her. Yet she was also active in many charitable causes, organizing guides for the less fortunate. She also put her keen politics mind to work on the campaign trail with her husband, winning hearts and minds through sheer baby-kissing determination. By the time of her death, the Disraelis were celebrated throughout Britain as a shining example of the joy, contentment, and success a proper union could bring. Mary Anne Disraeli is buried along with her husband, who outlived her by several years, at the Church of St. Michael and All Angels in Kent, Buckinghamshire. Desmond. What? Other people, Desmond. Not funny, universe, not funny at all. Jeez, what do you find in there? Sean's been locked in his room for hours. I can't find the whiskey and I'm pretty sure I hear crying. Rebecca. What? Versus Disraeli. Mary and Disraeli wants to see the devil's act and she requested the help of her new bodyguard Jacob.
Madam?
Mr. Fry?
Ready to take the air? Devil's Acre should just be coming alive.
I'm afraid I must cancel our engagement. The lawn is crawling with scandal-hunting journalists, and I simply cannot be seen in the company of someone so...
I'll see them off. You follow along when it's clear.
Yes, yes. Be gentle, won't you? The press are notoriously touchy about any violence to their person.
Ha 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 ha. I'll barely ruffle a hair on their heads.
Shh, Desmond.
One more break. Sorry for that. Be right back. No more breaks, sorry. Go back to driving Mrs. Disraeli. Oh, is she coming with us? Use tools to distract the reporters. Distract the reporters with the nearby paper girl. There's a girl.
That's yours, if you can get those chaps over there to follow me.
Right you are, sir. Blimey! Look! It's Squire Bancroft!
Best lead them astray before they tear me to shreds.
Bancroft! Mr. Bancroft! What's coming up next to the Prince of Wales?
Are they coming? It's... Oh, they're trying. Okay, yeah. This is what happens when you like eat too much. Yeah. Wow, did I spook them off? Nice.
Neatly done, young man. Dizzy ought to keep you on to deal with the liberals.
In the cart, it's the Prime Minister's wife.
I really must not be seen here, Mr. Fry.
Doing fine, girl.
Let us avoid these vultures. Discretion, Mr. Fry. Discretion!
At discretion. Yeah, there won't be any discretion. We're going there. Already.
Whoa, now. That's the way.
Okay, she's going already there.
Please, give me your arm, Mr. Fry. Let us see what the Devil's Acre has to offer.
Escort. Okay. Can we run? There's a warning, but I... Desmond barks when too close, attracting attention.
Desmond's fine. He's just not over fond of strangers. Or cats.
Life have I been treated so unjustly? This city
Do you know this gentleman is a... Oh, what was it? Yes, a costermonger. Of all things. Remarkable how the working classes occupy themselves, isn't it?
Very industrious, I'm sure. Shall we go? Everything all right?
Oh,
This
yes.
mission is rather a walk in the park.
I've just learned to whistle.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Who is whistling? I'm the... Or she.
That much is certain.
Why, Mr. Fry? I do believe that man is drunk.
I expect...
When it happened, they just appeared like out of nowhere.
Gallantly done, Mr. Fry. Shall we press on?
Can we continue?
Don't kill me! Please don't kill me! You can't kill me if I surrender!
What sort of meat is that man selling?
Best not to ask.
Why? Is it something dreadful? Is it rat?
I don't mean to be indelicate, given the present company, but another name for it is bow wow mutton. Here we are, the old
Oh,
one.
mutton.
So this is a pint, is it? Remarkable.
Nice doggy.
I froze for a moment.
Good boy, Desmond. Hand over the mutt.
You'll change your tune when me and my friends find you.
Now then, Desmond, to get you back to your mistress, whom I've just left entirely unattended in one of London's most dangerous pubs.
Well, if you never told your father how you felt about him, how was he supposed to know?
I never thought of it that way. I suppose deep down we all just want to be loved.
Just so. Here, have a sweetie. Oh, Desmond and Mr. Fry, I'd like you to meet... Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
John the Tosser.
Charmed. I think we better get you home.
Right you are, Mr. Fry. Come along, Desmond.
John the Tosser.
Well, well, well. If it isn't the dog walker.
Now, let's not do something we'll regret.
Oh, shit!
You're in a dark. Any last words?
Triple kill? Be nice. Yeah. Quadra kill! Or... we made quadra kill. That's unbelievable.
That's a girl.
Well, I must thank you for a most energetic and enlightening evening, Mr. Fry.
No, thank you. Perhaps now you might tell me about the man in the Hussars' uniform.
Quite right. Lord Cardigan is the gentleman you seek. Tasked. Always blabbering on about his military adventures.
Do you know where I might find him for a private conversation?
I do indeed. He's in town now, as it happens, campaigning against the Corrupt Practices Bill. Perhaps you could catch him in the Palace of Westminster.
Let's go.
Oh, do be careful. The government could ill afford another scandal.
I assure you, I'll be very discreet. Whoa, easy.
Your stop, madam.
My stop. How delightful. Thank you. Thank you for a splendid evening, Mr. Fry. I shall be sure to speak highly of you to Dizzy. Oh, yes.
Schematic Iron Dev Gauntlet schematic. We already have 10 level. Let's just. Okay, Templar Conspiracy Lord carrying done. Here's gonna be in bio probably also. Okay, the new one. That's not very good. Yeah, people. Other people. Catherine Gladstone. Standing beside her husband, Catherine Gladson's life was not quite as public. Her father having died when she was only 3, Catherine and her siblings, Mary and Stephen, were raised by their mother. Catherine and Mary grew to be extremely close, getting married on the same day at the same venue, and Catherine acting like a mother to her children when Mary passed away in 1857. Catherine met William Everett Gladstone through her brother in 1834, and the two great people, as Mary had called the couple, married in 1839. The couple were together for 59 years before Gladstone's death in 1898 and had 8 children together. Though notoriously untidy, Catherine was a brilliant woman who devoted her life to improving the lives of others. Collectibles illustration 44 Alhambra water carrier. Okay, there's a Lord Cardigan, and if I'm not mistaken, we already read him. Oh, we haven't. Let's see what's up with him. Whoa, there's a lot of information here. The teenage General James Thomas Bradnell, 7th Earl of Cardigan, stands as a shining example of British aristocracy circa the first half of the 19th century, which is to say, he was a pompous, blustery git who never met a failure. He couldn't buy his way out of and liked to play a soldier with large guns and actual human lives, or as he might have called them, peasants. He grew up in Buckinghamshire in the lap of luxury. His father inherited the earldom of Cardigan when young James was only 14. Despite being educated at some of the finest schools in England, he never earned a degree. I can't find any record of when he joined the Templars, presumably because when you're born this rich and connected, the doctor removes the silver spoon from your gob, slaps you on the arse, hands you a cross-pity ring, and sends you on your own way. Wow. In 1818, he became Member of Parliament for Marlborough, a small region of Wiltshire, regrettably lacking in grizzled, smoking cowboys, though if you're ever there, try a pint of Henry's at the Lamp. As for Jackie. This was convenient as his cousin owned the borough. Not that stopped him from buggering off on a grand tour of European before taking his seat, might. After all, one can hardly let little things like governance responsibility get in the way of getting about with Russian noblewoman. When he finally did take his seat, he was an unremarkable parliamentarian, and apparently an unpopular one. During a campaign in 1832, despite having spent some £20,000, equal to today's 1,660,000, he was assaulted and badly beaten in a rally. I suppose that's what happens when you loudly and frequently use phrases like reformist nonsense and preserving the ancient rights of the nobility when winning the hearts and minds of the common folk. Having failed rather remarkably in politics, He turned his attention to the military, spurred on by his youth admiration of Wellington's cavalry at Waterloo, and I suspect a love of all the pretty horses. He, and I swear I am not making this up, formed his own troop of horse to guard against the reformist uprising in Northamptonshire. When the Northants' menace failed to emerge, he joined the Hussars, where over the course of a few years he bought his way up from the lieutenant's rank to lieutenant general and commanded of the 11th Hussars. Along the way, he accumulated a court-martial for reprehensible conduct, a dismissal from the army by King William himself, and the prosecution for illegal dueling, all of which he managed to have reversed or dismissed thanks to his family connections. When he was finally sent off to India to take command of his forces, he spent a year and a half meandering his way to the colony, only to arrive just in time for a bit of tiger shooting before the 11th Hussars. I'm reading this as Hussars, who had been stationed there for several years, to be recalled to England. Lord Cardigan, he inherited the earldom in 1857, traveled separately abroad a private act because of course he did. If I didn't think he was such a tit, I'd love him. Despite a long and illustrious career of absolute fiery, Cardigan is most famous for leading the charge of the Light Brigade at the Battle of Balaclava. Although initial rumors suggested that he abstended himself from the battle altogether, it seems he did in fact lead the charge, and from the front, no less. Whatever his faults, he certainly possessed that breed of personal courage that comes from the certainty that the world would never dare lay a hand on you. Mind you, he also apparently never bothered to look back to see that his men were being slaughtered, and upon realizing that the battle was lost, he retired to his private yacht for a champagne dinner. So it's not as though he was seized by the spirit of gallantry. After the war, Cardigan returned to England, where he spent his retirement vigorously campaigning against reform and for his own recognition as a hero of the Crimea. In his very slight defense, he did contribute a great deal of money to many veterans' charities, and toward the end of his life he campaigned in favor of the Reform Act of 1867. But since that law served chiefly to bring the House of Commons under the dominion of the upper classes, that strikes me more as a Templar machinations than any sort of change of heart. But at least from him we get the cardigan sweater beloved of hipsters and children TV presenters the world over. Now I see this word again, machinations. And I think I'm not sure, because this is like the biggest bio we have. Let's go and focus on the next mission. There is a motion to impeach. So probably we're gonna kill someone here. Let's change to Eevee. Do you have any new things like outfits? No. Capes? Neither. There's still something here? And this one. Only 6 knife? Okay, where's the... There is a shop.
My best customer, you are.
I love this grapple hook. Jacob plans to assassinate the heir of Cardigan within the House of Parliament.
What's this nonsense about needing a password to see Lord Cardigan today?
Relax. I've got it in my pocket.
Look sharp, men. Allow no one past unless I authorize them. Cardigan has gone too far this time. I've a mind to contact Scotland Yard myself.
Come now, gentlemen. I thought us united in opposition against this perfidious law.